All right, so AMD's CES presentation just wrapped up and there was a lot they talked about. So in this video, I'll be distilling it down for what's relevant for us gamers and what's new and what's to get excited about. But first, time to pay some bills.
Hey, Jay. Jay. Jay.
What?
We got work to do.
Yeah. I'm playing World of Warships. Yeah. World of Warships is the free-to-play naval strategy game where you command the most iconic and famous warships from World War I and World War II, recreated with stunning detail and accuracy. Build your fleet while participating in various game types while upgrading your ship's arsenal along the way. New players who sign up using my link below will receive an exclusive starter pack to get you up and running quickly by receiving 7 days premium time, 1 million credits, 300 doubloons, and the Tier 5 premium ship, the Exeter. So what are you guys waiting for? Start sinking ships with World of Warships by heading to the description below and getting your freebies.
Okay, so right off the bat, literally one of the first slides they announced was the Ryzen 9 9950X3D CPU. It's got 16 cores, 32 threads, 5.7 gigahertz max boost clock, 144 megabytes of total cache, and 170 watt TDP. Now, from what I could tell, they kind of glossed over it in the keynote, but one CCD is still going to be the one with the V-cache, and then the other one is going to be the one with the higher clock speeds for just general purpose compute. So it doesn't seem like they've added V-cache to both dies this time around. They're sticking with the old way of having one die for 3D V-cache and then one die for clock speed. AMD is calling it the world's best processor for gamers and creators. So let's take a look at the benchmarks that they gave us to see what their results were. So in the gaming benchmarks that they showed us, they compared it to the 7950X3D as well as the Intel Core Ultra 9 285K. These names are going to get more and more ridiculous as we go on, just wait. Between 40 games that they tested against the 7950X3D, it performs on average 8% faster based on all those 40 games. Now they showed that their testing settings are 1080p high settings to isolate CPU performance. You can see anywhere from equal performance in Avatar Frontiers of Pandora all the way to 158% faster than the 7950X3D in Counter-Strike 2. Flipping over to the Intel comparison benchmarks, it looks like it's 20% average faster based on 40 games tested. Again, with equal performance in Black Myth Wukong, all the way up to 164% faster in Watch Dogs Legion. But again, with these benchmarks coming straight from their source, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, Keep your salt shaker handy with these numbers, but those are pretty impressive numbers. Now flipping over to the content creation side, again, they compared it against the 7950X3D and the Core i9 Ultra 9 285 9K95 Ultra Super Extreme Max. In comparison to the 7950X3D, it's 13% average faster creation based on 20 apps tested. Looking at things like Puget Bench, 7-Zip, Photoshop, Puget Bench, Geekbench, Cinebench, Blender, all the usual suspects when it comes to content creation benchmarks. And then in comparison to the Core Ultra 9 285K, it's 10% faster. So that's interesting that it's both faster at gaming and also faster at content creation. Again, grain of salt. Benchmarks are coming first party, so you gotta wait for independent testing, wait for all of us to get our hands on these things, and then really drill down and see if the performance is actually gonna match that sort of stuff. But those are some impressive claims. And at the very end of the whole presentation about the 9950X3D, they stealth launched the 9900X3D, which is a 12-core, 24-thread variant, up to 5.5 gigahertz max boost and 140 megabytes of total cache. Now they say total cache, so I don't know if that's all L3 or L2 or how they're mixing that in, but it looks like, yeah, the 9900X3D has 4 megabytes less of total cache. Now, both the 9950X3D and the 9900X3D are going to be available in Q1 of 2025, so we get that to look forward to pretty soon. Interestingly enough, they also announced a laptop variant, the 9955HX3D. I told you guys the names were going to get crazier as we went along. Also with 16 cores and 32 threads, with a 5.4 gigahertz boost clock, and all 144 megabytes of cache, but I don't know how they're gonna actually sustain that with a 54 watt TDP in a laptop SKU. So that should be kind of interesting. I don't know if we'll get a laptop in with that CPU, but that would be kind of nuts. That's going to be launching in sometime in the first half of 2025, along with some other non-X3D Ryzen 9000 series laptop CPUs in their lineup as well. Okay, so moving on to the juicy stuff that we've been waiting for, right? Everyone's excited for RDNA 4. AMD's launching their future architecture, RDNA 4, and unfortunately they didn't give us any performance figures or benchmarks or anything juicy to look at this time around. They just emphasized a little bit about FSR4, how it's machine learning powered upscaling, which is, I thought already had been the standard this entire time with XeSS and DLSS and FSR, and it's developed only for RDNA 4. So FSR4 is going to be a RDNA 4 exclusive. Now, there's not really any features that seem to differentiate it, at least none that they announced. So I don't know if it's just going to be like, okay, this new shiny algorithm of upscaling is only going to work on the upcoming GPUs. But they talk about FSR with frame gen and anti-lag and all the usual suspects here. But also, in case you wanted it in your Adrenaline app, you get to generate images and summarize local documents and ask AMD-related questions, which... Anyway, generative AI features are coming to the AMD Adrenaline app called AMD Adrenaline AI. Make of that what you will. But moving on to the actual graphics cards. They're introducing the RX 9070 XT, I don't know what happened to 8000, and the RX 9070. And also note that tier number moved over to kind of match NVIDIA's naming scheme, which I was like, I guess they're doing it to make it easier to compare. And then they answered me immediately on the next slide where it says Radeon branding for RDNA 4. Simplify model system to match direct competitor compare is the reason that they gave for moving that tier number over to the third slot. So essentially what they're saying is they want the 9070 XT to be a competitor to the whatever 5070 Ti, supposedly, hypothetically, that comes out, and it looks like the RX 9070 is going to be aimed at the 5070. Obviously, NVIDIA's keynote is later today, not earlier today, so we don't know what they're gonna actually launch or where it's gonna stack up in anything. And we can't even really compare the 9070 XT and the 9070 because AMD didn't drop any performance figures whatsoever again. So it's basically, hey, we're working on these two GPUs and they're coming in Q1 2025, which also is the same launch figure as the CPUs that they gave us all those performance figures for. So it's kind of weird. I hope it doesn't get delayed or anything, but yeah, it's just weird that we're that close to it and they aren't showing off anything. A little bit of extra gaming juiciness was announced though with the Z2 series, their handheld series. Looks like they're gonna keep that going. The Z1 was what was in the ROG Ally and basically like every other handheld that used it besides the Steam Deck, which used its own proprietary AMD CPU solution. The Z2 series is going to be a 3-product lineup available also in Q1 of 2025. Lots of Q1 2025 figures. Although those TDPs look a little bit aggressive to me to kind of facilitate any better battery longevity or anything. So I don't know. We'll see how low you can run these on power and see how that performance is. And the rest of the keynote, the bulk of it actually, was dedicated to AI PCs, which seem to be very laptop focused due to the whole Microsoft Copilot plus PC collaboration. And it seems like they only make small form factor desktop solutions as well as laptop solutions with this AI push. They announced the absolute buzzword soup of AI focused mobile CPUs though, with the AMD Ryzen AI 9, 7, and 5 lines, as well as the AMD Ryzen AI Max, Max Plus, and Max Pro 300 series lineups. And there's like a billion SKUs in this. You guys can see the slides on screen right here. Basically, stuff that us gamers don't really care about. So to wrap it all up, things to look forward in Q1 2025 for us. 9950X3D, 9900X3D, those are going to be killer CPUs. And the RX 9070 XT and RX 9070 GPUs, which should hopefully be very competitive. Again, no benchmark figures in this announcement, so all we have is hope, I guess. Don't give me hope. Don't do it. Don't give me hope. But yeah, I am hoping though. I am huffing the hopium on the RX 9070 and 9070 XT. All we can do is huff the hopium for those benchmark numbers with the RX 9070 and 9070 XT, and hopefully we get some of those numbers closer in the future, because again, all of these launches are Q1 2025 and we're in Q1 2025. So with all that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here on the channel right after NVIDIA's 6:30 p.m. keynote.
Why?
Why? Yeah, why? 6:30 p.m. They sure know how to make a spectacle. But anyway, again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.